Welcome to another episode at Universal Consciousness. Today we'll be talking about the difference between persona, or what actually we understand for personality. Once we all understand personality is the mask, we'll get a better grasp of what the persona is all about. Now, personality is often found an ambiguous term as a paradox, define both aspects or perspectives of the character of the person. Now, the etymology of the word personality goes back all the way to Latin terms, which means person, and person means mask. Now, in ancient Greek and Roman traditions, these masks were used in theaters to portray different characters, suggesting that the personalities or the character being played was simply faces that we chose to show to the world, and however, this mask is only a small part of the complex equation that constitutes to a complete attitude of the human psyche. Now, as we describe these numerous theories and models that personality can take up on character, there are some traits that we can definitely highlight as far as psychological mechanisms go. These influences our behaviors, but these definitions often contradict each other. Therefore, you want to be picky what terminology you use or how you even share the aspect of this word. Personality or person can be adaptable both in public and private. These contradictions lead to intriguing questions like, can we ever really know what is our authentic essence? This happens a lot to film actors. They get lost in their character, not knowing their real essence, causing all kinds of brain traumas. However, brain activity can influence and be influenced by the personality, which is our cognition or conscious and unconscious. This contributes to the personal project of the self, which is an unconscious cognition, and this can lead us to the realm of spirituality as mysticism. This is where science meets the unknown. Now, personality is like a superficial manifestation of the deepest part of the ego or the spirit of the soul. In Eastern philosophy, the spiritual traditions say that personality is part of the cycle of birth and rebirth. It is for this reason and others that the body must be loved. It has to be a great friend of yours because this is your home while you live out your character. And since it's your home, you must have it clean as possible. You must have it removed from all toxins as possible because you want to live out the best version of you. This is something very easy to understand, and this is the importance of taking care of the body. You have to remember that it is at your best interest because the body is the continuum of your consciousness. Day by day, it will nourish to fulfill higher expectations of the self. Even when you are asleep, your body is continually working for you, digesting food, transforming blood cells, discarding dead cells from the body, bringing new oxygen, reviving new mental stage of awareness. It is the body, as you are asleep, that never stops working for you. It is doing everything for your survival, for your life. Although we are so unconscious of this topic, this is why we need to bring awareness because we abuse the body versus being thankful for the body. The body is the greater chance of you growing as consciousness. It is an organic unit. This is why, family, we need to understand that we are interconnected. Mother Earth is the womb of our reality. And now, a totally new class must be evolving in this new era because it is necessary in the world that we fundamentally understand that everyone is introduced to the silence of the heart. In other words, it is the interaction with the self and the body, the I, the consciousness that has to be prepared to be compassionate with each other. Because once you're compassionate with your body, you'll start to be compassionate amongst others. This is the only way that you will grow towards your own self-realization. And you cannot be compassionate towards others without being compassionate to the self. Now, understanding it is a living organism, you have to also be aware that it hasn't done anything to you. It's only helping you. The body is your best friend. It has a continuous service of realization, evolution, and reincarnation. This is since you conceived, the body's been at your will. And Until you transcend it, it will be. And it will do everything you want it to do, even the impossible, as it is only obedient to the self. The non awareness part of the self is the disobedient version of you. And now that's what we need to create awareness so we can bypass all the negative mechanism that is not helping us to be wiser and better. And so, self observation is the process that a person uses to help observe themselves. Now, this can also be understood as mindfulness. The mindfulness practice is very enlightening tool at this time of life because this helps us realize our own actions, thoughts, knowledge, skills, attitudes, feeling, movements, etc. The self-observation is related to what is known as consciousness. This includes every aspect of the self that realizes about the self. At any given time, it is for this reason that it is so important mindfulness practice. This will help the mindful, intuitive meditation of the I. This will allow you to align your consciousness with the unconscious. And once your consciousness aligns with the unconscious, the conscious part of the self will make the unconscious part aware. In other words, mind and body will be in tuned, complete resonance with harmony at the best interest of the self. Now that we understand the importance of differential topic of persona and personality, let's see what our ancestors tell us in regards to the esoteric teachings from the past, because they have always been aware of this topic. And esoteric teachings tell us that personality is often dwelled upon deeper aspects of the individual psyche. It is exploring connections between the self and the universe. This is what we're doing, registering every timeline experience. Now, this teaches that this might include concepts from very spiritual paths of psychological traditions, and they all aim to cover the hidden truths about humanity and its nature. This is the importance of your realization as your personal growth, because personality is like a superficial manifestation of the deeper self. However, it can easily be influenced by many aspects, and this is what esoteric teaching help us in. They help us realize what is the interconnectedness of the mind, body, spirit, because personality can deviate and unbalance itself through many influential aspects, and this is why we must cover certain topics in this context. The most influential of the personality concepts will be pointed out here in the top 5, just for your better understanding what we mean by influences of exterior interaction. The most predominant are going to be these top 5s that we're going to mention for you to study and grasp a better understanding. These are, by esoteric explanation, the most influentials. Now, the first one we're going to dive right into is called spiritual dimensions. These teachings dwell upon the spiritual nature of the personality. This suggesting that our true self is connected to a higher consciousness or universal energy, more likely known as source. That means we're all interconnected. Therefore, everybody has an influence on each other's emotions. This is why you need to be very careful who do you surround yourself with and how you're influenced by these certain interactions of the outer realm. Next, we would like to brush up on the archetypes. This would be number 2 as most influential. The Jungian psychology introduces that the idea of archetypes are influenced by universal symbols and patterns through behaviors and perceptions. This is why we have to be aware. What are we listening to? What are we feeding our souls with? And what are we talking? What's grabbing your attention? Where are you focusing your energy in? These are the most influential patterns in behavior as well. Number 3 would be karmic influences. These karmic influences are believed to be a positive or negative depending on your balance inclination towards the personality traits, but they do tend to brush off based on karmic influences. Now, this means that past lives have karmic patterns and they do bring their own baggage, and a lot of us are being influenced by our past lives just because we need to evolve based on wherever we left off, yet we don't know this, so there's nothing we can do until you start bringing awareness. Now, once you start bringing awareness, these karmic influences, you'll be able to balance them out for your evolution. Next, we would like to touch is called the astrological significance. Astrology has been around since forever. Our ancestors always dwelled upon the stars, and they definitely worshiped them. Now, in other aspects, there's suggestion that our personality is influenced by the positions of the celestial bodies at the time of birth. That for meaning that we do go by certain characteristics based on our time of birth, and that means that you're going to go by your zodiac signs or whatnot, and not everybody does, but overall they do take a toll on your attitude once you start being influenced or searching for this type of information. It just depends of your karmic alignment, whether you're attracted to this type of topics or not. It is all up to the self. You'll be easily influenced more than others, but it is very influential. And last but not least, a very popular one also is the chakra system. The chakra system teaches to incorporate the concept of body energy fields through the centers of the body that are always affecting our emotions, behaviors, and overall the well-being of the eye. These are just a few examples of what chakra system balancing can do to the self. Through alignment, it will help you manifest higher consciousness once you align your mind, body, spirit through affirmations, spiritual practices, and etc. The chakra balancing is very beneficial and is also very ancestral pathway of self-realization. Now, these are just a few examples and esoteric teachings that can widely depend on the tradition and belief system. Keep in mind, this is just for you to work out the best interests of your personality so you can have a better understanding from the persona aspect. And this is an exploration of one's inner self to unlock the hidden potentials of the I as the persona achieve to personalize the transformation at will through the self-realization and mindfulness aspect of the self. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment if you have any comments, and like if you like the video for more content like this.
Hit that subscribe button.